Hey guys, time for a practical tip again this week. Today I want to talk to you about family dinners. And before you get ahead of yourself, it doesn't have to happen at dinner. So I know a lot of you are in situations where you guys work opposite shifts or you work an evening shift, but our kids aren't at school right now. So family dinner could mean family breakfast. It could mean family lunch. It can mean family bedtime snack. We need to be creative and think outside of the box. So, whatever time you choose, I want you to think about a couple of things. It's so easy when we have a lot of events and we have kids that are in different sports and have practice schedules and classes and events and concerts, and we have meetings and all of the things that we all get crazy busy in as families. It's hard to carve out that intentional, scheduled time. So my hope for my family during this season is that we can get into the habit of actually doing this now so that it continues to be a priority later. And I will admit, this is something that I've always had a priority on. Just everyone has their own thing, and this has kind of been mine. It's been my hill that I'm willing to die on. And sometimes that means I have to be super flexible. And sometimes dinner is at 4:30 before we all have to go our separate ways. And then we have a snack again later because we're hungry again before bed. And that's okay. So I encourage you to be flexible, but make a commitment to how many days a week you want your family to gather together with intention and with as little distraction as possible. So trying to put phones away, for sure turning off TV shows. It's awesome to sit together and have dinner and watch a movie as an activity sometimes, but when it's every time, your kids aren't learning to have those conversations with you that can easily come up at a meal. You know, as adults, we spend a lot of our social time around meals. We have date nights and we go out to dinner, or we meet friends for coffees, or we have lunch with a coworker and talk things out. And your kids need that too. And I think it's super easy for us to forget that kids have those same needs that we as adults have. And so that family dinner can be a time to come back together, a time to talk about your day or your week, or what's coming up. It can be a time to talk about and focus on things that you're thankful for that day, victories that you've seen that day, things that have brought you joy that day, something super silly that happened. And then especially too, when we start going into opposite directions and we're not together in the same house all the time anymore, to be able to catch up on the things that you missed. What happened in class today? What was the most frustrating thing that someone did to you? What was the best thing you saw? What was the silliest thing that you said today? Those kinds of things are the great things that come up in conversations over ice cream at bedtime or dinner at supper time. It can be whatever it needs to look like for your family. I went to a middle school preview night a few months ago, and the principal was actually talking about the importance of family and the importance of being influential in your child's life. And she talked about the idea of family dinners. And she quoted this statistic, and I wish I could give it credit, but I honestly don't know where she got it from. But she was talking about that families that have 5 or more dinners together a week. And again, dinner can mean 6 p.m., 10 p.m., 7 a.m. It can be whatever you need it to be. But those families that were having an intentional family time 5 times a week, their kids were 85% more likely to stay connected with them into adulthood, and 85% more likely to marry someone that shared their family's values. And she had a lot of other statistics too, but honestly, I can't remember all of them. But it is so important. And it's so easy for that to be one of the things that falls to the side when our lives are busy. And I just encourage you and challenge you this week to make that a priority. And it might not be realistic for you 5 times a week, and that's okay. Make it one day a week. Maybe it's Sunday dinner. Maybe Sundays you have church together and then you have lunch together, and that's your family meal. And you turn everything else off and you're intentional about that time together. And you use it to build that relationship with your kids that you want to continue throughout their lives. If you guys need any help with this, any tips, if you have any tips for the rest of us, please share them. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.